think you told me this once actually, and it stuck with me. Like, would you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond, right? So I think it really helped me to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond, for sure. I mean, it allowed me to have a lot of opportunities and that I otherwise probably wouldn't have in a bigger in a bigger pond. Um, so I definitely think people should look at more than just the name brand of the school. I mean, I know I struggled with that. I know that you know that because we went through this whole thing together. But again, I graduated at a time when I think the value of the brand name of architecture school was diminishing in lieu of what graduates could do after, right? I mean, we were in the middle of the recession, and the first question people would ask you is what can you do? Can you get started? Do you know these programs? Like, and that's still very real. And I think even in this recession that we're going to inevitably go through again now, it's going to be the same thing. So not that brand name doesn't carry a certain weight, and the networks that you can derive from those are very valuable, but not just to do that for name brand sake, right? I mean, the individual attention, the type of education you're going to get, and just who you're going to be connected to, because I think that has been far more valuable, and it's advanced me in my career. Is who I know, who I was able to be exposed to, and kind of that network that you're building, because that to me is critical. I mean, no one asks me anymore like, where'd you go to school? What do you do? I mean, they do,
Sure.
but it's not that important, right? And but what's important is kind of your application of your education rather than the brand name of it. And I don't know. I think that was a really big lesson. And I think
Well,
that's hard for architects to understand too, or to let go of. So I would tell anybody before they apply to their master's program, if they have a background in architecture, to try to work in architecture, at least shadow an office, and a reality before you decide to sign up for it, because even the experience in school is going to be far different than what practice is, right? So I know a lot of my colleagues have had shock coming out of school, having never practiced. Maybe they went straight from undergrad to graduate school, and then they get out and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so different than what I thought this would be. And either that's a good thing or sometimes that's a bad thing, and then they're like, well, what did I do? This isn't what I want to do. So I think just being really real about practice, and, we spend so much time learning to be designers, but, the reality is design is only a fractional part of the entire building process, right? And again, it's not individual, it's group work, and there's so much more to it than than what you're going to learn necessarily in school. So just knowing that, and I think, but the translation of design thinking can happen even in an industry or a career beyond architecture, right? So I think that's been one of the biggest things that I've learned is that you have skills that translate across multiple are valuable skills of problem solving and critical thinking, and being able to see the possibility of something, or to spin a situation or a project into creating something much larger than the built product itself, right? I mean, architecture does go beyond just that building, and just that object. So I think keeping that in context too, for young designers to realize that there are many other avenues, that architecture isn't just going to be like you're going to sit in an office all day designing a building. There are many, many other opportunities, and it really is a good springboard and platform for that type of thinking, right? And that it can prepare you for a multitude of careers as well, but also to just, I don't know, have more exposure, the better. I don't know if these are all too lofty and too general.